Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my great find videos. I promise you that this is actually a really good deal that I got, and if you already saw the title you can tell that it has something to do with Star Wars figures. Basically I saw an ad on Craigslist and I scored a really good collection at a really good price. So like always, we'll go ahead and go over what it is and then I'll tell you how much I paid for it. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this bin so you can see everything that's in there. Then I'm going to close it up to show you some additional things, and then I'll go ahead and pan over what's in there. Alrighty, so this is what we have in there. Okay, now I estimate that there's about 176 Star Wars figures in this bin. I say estimate because it all depends on what you consider a figure, a character, and things like that. Like Jabba the Hutt right here. I mean, do you consider him a figure? Do you consider him a beast? Do you consider him both? So I estimate 176 figures in this bin. What really drew me to buying this collection is that the seller, he put very good pictures on Craigslist, but not only that, from those pictures I can tell that this collection really complemented my Star Wars collection that I already owned before buying these. And so I want to say it doubles my Star Wars collection, because in this entire bin, I estimate I have maybe 10 figures total that are doubles. Just about, maybe give or take a few. So the rest, besides those 10, are figures that I do not own or didn't own before I purchased these. The seller really took extremely great care of these figures, and I'm very proud to have found it. I'm very proud to own them. Like I said, it really just makes my collection more immense. If I had maybe half of this already, I wouldn't be too thrilled, but I have just so little of it. You know, maybe 7% of it I already own, so the rest it just complements everything else I have. I will tell you a quick story in a little bit about how I actually got these, because it is kind of funny and it is kind of interesting. So I'm going to put this over on here, and then like I said, don't worry, I'll open this up again and we'll get a little bit closer. But I wanted to show you just how much this person took care of these. Now these I've never owned. I've never owned these two figures or these two pieces, but it's basically like a mock of Luke Skywalker inside one of the gun turrets inside the Millennium Falcon, and here's one with Han Solo. And then you're supposed to put them together like a puzzle piece. They actually fit just like a puzzle piece like that. And they're supposed to fire away. And the main purpose of this is like you're supposed to be inside the Millennium Falcon, because they obviously cannot make a Millennium Falcon up to scale. So this kind of compensates for that, I guess. So I've never owned this either. I mean, obviously I've owned these figures in some form or fashion. Alrighty, so I was just focusing on those because they couldn't fit in there and because they came with that additional stuff. Alrighty, so this right here is just an entire bag full of stands, and what the seller called stands, and that's basically what it is. And they range from everything, not just in series, but from like episode 1 all the way to episode 3. So you have like your Comtech chips, which are also double as a stand. Okay, so you have like stuff like that. You have little basic things like this, where it kind of says the title, Empire Strikes Back, and then you put the figure on this peg. So these are just kind of, you know, not too fancy. But then you get into some where it's kind of like a little diorama scene. So, you know, I have to figure out exactly who these go to. But you see, one figure came with this particular one. So it has a peg so you can sit them down there, and then you get, I guess, like a little action scene. And now that I'm looking at it, it seems like maybe some of them might connect. So that's pretty cool. Let me just go ahead and bring out some of these. I know this one I think it goes to like a Boba Fett. So it's supposed to be like the fire from his jetpack, which I don't know how he wouldn't singe his feet, but yeah, this is kind of that kind of becomes a stand, and at the same time, kind of like a little action oriented with his jetpack shooting off. A lot of stuff I haven't had a chance to go through it. I've been wanting to make this video. This is kind of something similar. I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while. I wanted to make it the same day that I bought this stuff. I've had it already for like about 2 weeks, so. Alrighty, so there's that. Okay. Now, when you see a collection like this, one of the main things that you ask is, you know, do they come with the weapons, the figures? Oh, by the way, I got this Comtech. Let me elaborate on this. For those of you who don't know, this came out to coincide with the Star Wars Episode 1 figures, and each figure had a stand and this Comtech. Each character did, and they had a picture of the character. Now, if you can see right there, there's like a little chip. So you're supposed to put batteries in this thing, and then you're supposed to put the figure on there, like so that the figure can talk, but you can just put this thing on there, and it'll say some phrases from the movie or something like that. The strange part is like I said, this is the second time I own this thing, so I have another one somewhere. I've never tried it. And my brother, he helped me collect some like Episode 1 stuff and stuff like that. We never tried it together. He never tried it on his own. Nothing. I have another friend that collected some stuff. We've never tried it. So me and my friend were talking about it the other day. And one of these days we're going to do a reaction video. Now, and that's what it's going to be. So I'm not going to show this off because I'm sure you can find a video of someone else. But the purpose of my video is going to be for me to finally see what this thing does on my own. Alright, so anyways, like I mentioned, you ask yourself, you know, when you're investing in something like this, are these figures complete? I'd say they're complete, you know, and I'm guesstimating about 95%. Okay, so here we go. This is like a little tackle box almost. This is very hard to work with for some reason. Okay, so there isn't too much of a big deal here, but you do have like, you know, some of this kind of hints at what figures are in there. For example, you have the severed arm. No. If you're saying Empire Strikes Back, you're wrong. It's arm, not hand. So this is obviously like a Episode 2 figure of Anakin. Alrighty, so I know this. I used to know so much stuff, but with all the stuff that Disney's doing, and if you've seen my other videos regarding Star Wars, I don't like anything that Disney has done. And to me, Star Wars died when Disney took it over. I had hoped that they were going to do the right thing, and they didn't. They decided to ignore 30 years of lore, and I do not condone that. So a lot of my facts are a little bit off, but I know that this axe belongs to, I want to say the Rancor Keeper, but it's not the Rancor, but the green pig fella. I know that sounds dumb, but I used to know the name. Little helmets and stuff. Little rifles. So you get the idea. You get all kinds of little weapons in here. So you close this top part, which for some reason never wants to close. It always, no matter what I do, I've emptied it out and separated some of the stuff. So you're not actually seeing, and it just won't close for some reason. But anyways, okay, so in here, these I still don't know what they go to. But there's a lot of them. There's, as you can see, you got some capes and stuff, some cloaks. Okay, here's like the turret. So obviously, it's a very good collection. A bowcaster. It's a very good collection. I know Yoda sits on this thing. You even have these little figures. I think it's weird. If you've seen my very first Great Find video of G.I. Joe, I just think it's so weird when you buy a figure and then it comes with like a smaller figure, and it's just like, okay, so I'm collecting these, and then now I have a collection of these, which I do. You see? Then there's another one. And then I don't know, I guess it would be weird both ways, because this is like a stormtrooper, okay? And I'm sure he didn't come with a stormtrooper, so that makes it weird. But then again, if it was a stormtrooper and he came with a stormtrooper, then that would be weird itself. So I don't know why they do these things. If you notice, every time they kind of like try to remodernize Star Wars, when they come out like with a new series and toys, they try to add some type of additional thing that comes with it. Stands, Comtech, hologram. For a while they had the like the little slides of scenes from the movie. That was kind of quirky. They had, what was the other one that I was thinking of, for the expanded universe, where it would the package would unfold into some type of case. I mean, some type of scene. Sorry. Okay, so you get the idea. All right, so you want to see the figures? I know you do. And as I kind of pan over them, I'll explain the little story. The seller, he clearly put, it was 3 pictures, and I want to say it was maybe like 3 or 4 different sections. What? Actually, it was just one full picture. Of course, I reassorted these, but it was one full picture of the bin, and then kind of like this section, this section, this section. So you can really see, and he really put on there that he was letting everything go for $200. Okay, so I texted him, and I texted him that I want to see him. So he responds, "What do you mean you want to see him?" And I responded something like, "Well, you know, it's a lot of money, but I am very interested. Your collection looks great. I just want to make sure that, you know, I do want to make that investment." And so then he was like, "Oh, okay, so you don't just want some of them?" And I'm like, "No, I want all of them. It's a very great collection, but I mean, I just want to look at it to be sure." "Oh, okay." So it was kind of strange because that whole week my phone was acting really, really strange. So we agreed to meet, and I told him, "Hey, meet me at," I said 7:50, and so that was like half an hour from the time that you know, we had texted. He agreed to meet at 7:50, so to me that gave me 15 minutes to go take out the money, 15 minutes to go meet him. So I get there. We were supposed to meet kind of like at a Walmart gas station behind a GameStop, blah blah blah, and he's not there. No biggie. I'm 2 minutes ahead of time, and he texts back like, "I thought you said we were meeting at 7:50." So that's when I was like, "Uh-oh, well, what time is it now?" He texts back, "It's 6:50." So somehow, I don't know why, I have a very crummy phone, and the time jumped forward on my phone. So the good thing is that I texted him what happened, and he actually scrambled to get there faster. So he didn't arrive at 7:50. He arrived at 7:30, but I still had to wait like half an hour there. Okay, so he finally gets there. He opens them up. I look at them, whatever, and I tell him, "Yeah." Okay, so then he explained to me that the reason he was so precautious is because he had already had about maybe 4 or so buyers go. They agreed to buy the whole thing at $200. They agreed to buy the whole thing at the $200, and then they would say, I kind of revealed how much I paid. So they would go and they would act like they were going to buy the whole thing, and then they would pick out some and they would say, "I just want these." Now I don't know how much they would have paid, but I mean, let's just say that they would have paid $5 for each one they wanted. So if they wanted 5, you know, $25. And I'm thinking that the reason that they want those 5 is because they already had the other ones, or they don't care for the other ones. Okay, so as you already heard me, I paid $200 for this. There is 176 figures in here. At $200, that's $1.13 a figure. $1.13 a figure. Listen to that. Okay? And I know from somewhere here you're already getting envious. You're seeing something that you're like, that's worth more than $1.15. In fact, right there. You know it is. If you're a Star Wars aficionado, you know it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and pan over and see what I got. So anyways, to me that was a bad decision of those people not buying the whole bin, because you take out the 5 you want or so and you sell the other ones for $5 at least. At least each one of these figures is worth $5. Well, maybe I forgot the name of these droids. You know, the Trade Federation droids, whatever. But, you know, on average, you know, let's say this guy's worth, you know, 7, so this one's worth 3. But average amount, you know, and those people could have made a killing on selling them. Me, I wish I had these already and found them so I can sell them and make a profit. You know what I mean? But that's not what I want to do. This is my collection now. And I bought it obviously from a very serious collector. Now it's part of my collection. I want to say it doubles my collection. So enough talk. Let's see what I got here. Okay, because that's what you want to see. Let me take the camera off of here, off of the stand. Alrighty. So I'll start in the back. Believe it or not, as much as I love Star Wars, pre-Disney, before Disney, up until this point, I don't think I have a clone trooper in my collection. I'm almost ashamed to say that. And here I have, man, I don't even know. I think I counted like 40 of them. Of course, different variations. I think there's like 2 doubles in here somewhere. There are some doubles of the clone troopers, but who cares? They're clone troopers. They're, you know what I mean? Here's the shock trooper. That one I wasn't able to get, and he's from the expanded universe. I would take these out one by one, but when I did it the first time, oh my god, I had such a hard time getting them in here. He kind of already had them like this, but of course I wanted to take them out and sort them out. He had them sorted out pretty well, but I could not get them back in there, and I couldn't figure out how, because I would try like let's say putting these in the back and they fall over, and then again and they fall over. So in case you're ever trying to sort out something in a bin like this where it has to be standing like action figure wise, you need to prop it up at an angle like that, put a pillow under it, and then start stacking them, and like that they won't fall over. So that's why I will not take them out, but you'll get to see what I have. That's what this whole video is about. Alrighty. And one thing that I realized from the picture, and I really had to ask him, and I knew what his answer was going to be. In fact, I thought he was going to have either 2 answers, one or the other, or together. So I asked him, I said, this is a great collection. I said, why did you decide to sell them? And this is exactly what he said. He said because of what they're doing with the new ones, that they're not fully articulated. Yeah, Black Series, whatever. I know, but no. The crummy, what is it, 5-point articulation ones, are the same price that these were. And these are fully articulated, elbows, knees, everything. So that's what he told me. And I myself am upset over what Disney has done with the Star Wars line of figures. The Black Series, it's like, no, people are already paying top dollar for a figure. Right here you get to the Wookiees. This guy, I did not know, he's like very, very dark, like his fur is black. One of these, I'm wondering, I think it's Tobruk. I don't recognize him, but he was buddies with Yoda on episode 3. Oh, before I forget, that's one major thing. Another reason that I chose to buy these, and why I knew it was a great collection, the guy that sold them to me, he kind of continued to collect where I stopped. I stopped collecting at kind of like at episode 2. I did buy some stuff, and then I did buy some stuff from episode 3. But something happened with episode 3. It had nothing to do with the movie. I love all the Star Wars movies from 1 through 6. And what happened with episode 3 was I was upset with the commercialization of the movie. I remember seeing Darth Vader on a box of Cheez-Its, and he had his hand held out using the Force, and there were like 3 Cheez-Its floating above, and it's just like, no, that's not what Star Wars is about. But okay, and it pissed me off, the whole propaganda, that I didn't want to buy into it, and I missed out on a lot of good stuff like this. So I didn't get too much into Clone Wars either. I did like Clone Wars, and I did like Revenge of the Sith. I just didn't like the commercial side of it. I know that that's where the film makes its money, all that good stuff, but I don't think you should do it to the point where you lose the meaning of the film. Darth Vader and Cheez-Its, this guy right there, and Cheez-Its don't go together. You know what I mean? He'd probably kill somebody if he saw them eating Cheez-Its. For no reason, just because they were eating Cheez-Its. So let me elaborate on some figures now. So right here you got your little Ewoks, of course. Okay, so bow and arrow set, all that good stuff. You got a few, I believe they pronounced droidecas. And even these are buried a little bit. You got your droids. I don't know if these, again, I'm a little bit off on my facts. I don't know if these are astromech droids. Obviously, this is the main man himself. Well, not man, but main droid himself, R2-D2. Not BB-8, R2-D2. I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit off tangent, but the whole thing with R2-D2 not coming out till like the very end of episode 7 was just really stupid. If you really think about C-3PO and R2-D2 and the way those characters were portrayed in the entire Star Wars saga, you'll realize that those two characters are the audience, because they were there during every, pinnacle point in the Star Wars saga. So when they made him sit behind the scenes, that was a big no-no for me, because he has been there through so much. He's been there through more things than any other character, if you really think about it. He was created by Darth Vader. He was there when Darth Vader, well, he was created by Anakin, and then he was there when Anakin was destroyed and turned into Darth Vader, and he was there against Darth Vader going down the Death Star trench with Luke. Does anybody not realize how much this droid has done for him to just be asleep in a movie called The Force Awakens? Yeah, whatever. Sorry about that. Here's another figure. Grievous, one of my favorite characters. In the prequels, well, he only came out in episode 3 in the prequels, but the whole Clone Wars and all that, it's just in episode 3 they just did not, as stealing the words right out of my friend's mouth when I let him borrow the Clone Wars, the 2D animated version. He was like, they didn't give him any justice whatsoever, and he's right, they did not. This, I don't know if it's a concept of Grievous or if it's like before he became robotic, but something's not right there, because he's in robot form, he's a lot smaller than his alien form. The Jabba the Hutt, I thought I had it because I do have a Jabba the Hutt somewhere, but then but this one is actually like made out of rubber, and the one that I have is facing forward, because it coincides with the special edition of Star Wars. So what I figured out, this one is like really, really cool. You take them apart, and you can't see them in there, but there's about... Shit, did someone... I don't know if someone took my little froggy, guys, but anyways, there's like about 5 little frogs in there, and you're supposed to... I'm not going to be able to do it with one hand, but you're supposed to be able to squeeze his mouth open, then kind of put him in there. Come on, Jabba. There you go. Did you see how he slammed his hand? Anyways, so he eats it, and then you open him up and feed him again. Alrighty, so I'm just panning over these figures, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to talk about. But yeah, I love this era of Star Wars. It was when it was still what it meant to be. It wasn't owned by a corporation that doesn't care about the heart of Star Wars. They think they do, but they don't. Alrighty, so this is the last thing I'll say, because this video ran longer than what I wanted to. But once we made the trade, once I gave him the money and he was going to leave, he said, he goes, I think I might still have Jedi and Sith and talking Yoda. Just remember that, because there's going to be a second part to this. Because he did call me back. I did find out what he meant by that, and I do own it. And it's a little bit strange on its own. But just remember that. He said, he said, I might have Jedi and Sith and talking Yoda. Okay, but there's a little curveball in there. It's not going to be what you think right away. Alrighty, so thank you so much for watching this long video. If there's a particular figure you would like me to elaborate on, go ahead and let me know. And I'll I plan on putting them all together and, of course, showing them off one by one. Reviewing them. Look at the Imperial Guards. Anyways, so like always, please stick around if you like action figures, toys, comic books, movies, video games. I love all that stuff. There's another video coming what I scored with this great seller. I'm very thankful to him. So hit like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.